Welcome to another edition of Boxing Info. I'm your host, The Islander. We're going to try something different this week because I understand the audio wasn't too good last week on the iPad. So this week we're going to try Windows 10 on the Dell notebook or whatnot and see how that works. Uh, as you know, there was a pay-per-view card over the weekend in which Manny Pacquiao returned to fight Jesse Vargas, as well as a semifinal, or I should say a co-main event with Nonito Donaire facing Magdaleno. And I didn't cover this fight because I just initially thought that Donaire was going to basically cruise through that fight, and I was sorely mistaken as Magdaleno showed why he has garnered some props as an up-and-coming prospect, and he just looked crisper, stronger. And I remember what this reminded me of was a long, long time ago when Sugar Ray Leonard was coming back from uh, being retired with his detached retina. He fought a fight in 1984 against a guy named Kevin Howard, and one of the things that Kevin Howard gave Sugar Ray Leonard a ton of trouble, and the reason why is when you're either getting old or you're on the shelf for a while and you're not in with live competition, you lose the ability to be able to punch, be ready to punch at all times. And I remember, I think it was Larry Merchant during that broadcast was saying that Kevin Howard looked like he was ready to punch or react to every single thing that was happening. And Sugar Ray Leonard was a step behind. He finally caught up to Howard and stopped him. This Nonito Donaire, I think it's more age than being ready, and he just didn't look like he was ready to, I guess, punch at every given second of the fight, and Magdaleno was. You just knew he was on edge, and Donaire was fighting a reactionary fight in my opinion, and Magdaleno deserved the decision, and congratulations to him. With the this radio in the background is driving me nuts, but tomorrow is going to be the election here in the United States, and all this nonsense is going to be over I hope once and for all. I hope. In any event, though, the main event with Manny Pacquiao and Jesse Vargas, this is going to be a tale that you're going to see spun over and over and over again. And what I mean by this is when the elite, or the elite who were kind of past their prime, keep fighting, what ends up happening is they're put in with an opponent we think is dangerous, like Floyd Mayweather against Andre Berto, although most people didn't expect Andre Berto to beat him, and Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley, Pacquiao versus now Jesse Vargas. And the hope is that we're going to get a real solid fight, and we're going to get, the A-list fighter put in some type of condition or some type of situation that we haven't seen him in. And we keep doing this, and we keep seeing this, and we keep waiting for the guy who's the A-list fighter to grow old overnight. And when it doesn't happen, it's a dominating performance for the A-list fighter. So Manny Pacquiao landing almost 4 out of every 10 punches he threw. Vargas landing just less than 2 out of every 5 he threw. Did I say that right? Or 2 out of every 10. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? That would be 40%. Okay. Manny Pacquiao landing almost 4 out of every 10 punches he threw. Vargas landed basically less than 2 out of every 10 he threw, and threw more, which made this a wild fan. Now, here's the take on this fight, because there's a lot of speculation, because Floyd Mayweather visited the Wild Card Gym, as one of you posted on my last video, and also those of you also that he was invited to sit ringside by Manny Pacquiao, and I always thought that Floyd Mayweather had something to do with the promotional ties of Jesse Vargas a long time ago, or some time ago. The silver lining for Jesse Vargas in this fight was that when he relinquished with what I would call the boxing basics, which is jab, right hand, left hook, and just started throwing lead right hands, it reminded me very much of when Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao hooked up the first time, and this is more than 12 years ago now, 12 and a half years ago, where lead right hands were crashing against Pacquiao's unprotected face. And this happened over and over again. Now, it was sporadic. Don't get me wrong, it was sporadic. It wasn't something that was happening every single round. But if you're Floyd Mayweather watching this, you think, all right, I've already done this once. Yes, he was fighting me with one arm, but is there enough offense and arsenal on Manny Pacquiao to make a fight with Mayweather, even with Mayweather being on the shelf for 2 years, any different? And my argument is, I don't think so. Because if Jesse Vargas was going to land those lead right hands on Pacquiao, Mayweather would too. And I really don't know what. I guess maybe, and let's speculate. Why do people want the rematch with Pacquiao and Mayweather? I don't care to see it again. I don't know if many of you care to see it again. I'm more interested maybe in getting a catchweight fight between Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez, or some new blood. And bear with me. And that's that. And as I was saying, I'd rather see something else, or both Pacquiao and Mayweather maybe go off into the sunset. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I think that it's time to start moving on. If Mayweather wants to come back, maybe a catchweight fight between him and Triple G would be about the only thing I'd want to see. He's already fought Pacquiao. He's already fought Canelo. I don't think there's anything else left that I want to see him right now in. And that brings me to the fight I think that's coming up in 2 weeks again. A lot of you were upset with what I had to say about the a little tiny preview to Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward. Listen, the chances of that fight, if the fight ends in a stoppage, I personally think that Kovalev's going to win, or Ward's going to win by basically busting him up, cuts and all the other dirty things that he likes to indulge in. If the fight goes the distance, I really don't see how Kovalev's going to win the fight like he did against Hopkins, and I gave my reasons why. I'm going to probably basically delay talking about this anymore. Right now, my brain tells me, it's a 50-50 proposition. My brain tells me, lean towards Ward, but at the same time, the more active fighter has been Kovalev, and if I'm looking at the intangibles, Kovalev hasn't looked all that great lately, but on the other hand, Andre Ward's not, he doesn't have the power to offset, the killer that's going to be coming at him. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to try to answer some more questions about the dream fights and whatnot. Aaron Pryor was tough at 140. I found that out the hard way, and I don't think that many people would have beaten him at that weight, and not clearly anyway, as I've answered before. So that's going to be it for this video, and stick with me. I should be back next week to do more of an in-depth preview of the Kovalev or whichever fights are on the horizon. I'm just kind of ad-libbing this one. So take care, everybody.